All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we actually have legendary Southern hip hop artist right here live on the line. This individual is multi-platinum, Grammy Award nominated. He is a member of the best-selling hip hop group of the year 2002, Nappy Roots. He is the one and only Be Still right here live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, that was a hell of an intro, man. I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I am doing great. I gotta say, I've been looking forward to this type of interview, like my whole career within radio, man. I grew up on Nappy Roots. I've been a fan of Nappy Roots for years, man. So that definitely was an intro that's been a long time coming, in my personal opinion.
Thank you, man. Yeah. You must listen. You got good taste in music. How about that, man? We raised you right, man.
Hey, man, I definitely agree with that, man. You can never go wrong with the Nappy Roots.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. We work hard, man, to make good music that's gonna stand the test of time. So, man, I'm glad you appreciate it, man. For sure.
But I gotta ask, man. I want to take you back to the beginning of your iconic career, even before the Nappy Roots. And I have to ask, like, what actually inspired you to get into the music industry initially, man? Because your roots run so deep within this hip hop thing.
Yeah, man. So my family, so my father, man, he was a drummer, man. He played all the instruments. So I grew up with all these instruments in my house, right? And never really messing with them at all. You know what I'm saying? But just getting caught up in the whirlwind of hip hop back in the early '90s, late '80s, and I actually. I just kind of saw a cipher one day, and my good friend was beatboxing while this dude was freestyling, and man, as soon as I seen that, I ran to the crib and started writing rhymes. And my father actually managed me when I was a little kid, man, and I ended up going to college, meeting Nappy Roots, and the rest is history.
And I gotta ask as well, while you guys actually were attending Bowling Green, Western Kentucky University, I have to ask, what actually made all you guys decide to come together, man? Because you guys are, in my personal opinion, all puzzle pieces, man. Because when you guys came together, you guys formed one of the biggest hip hop groups of all time, man. Your chemistry was and still is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, well, I don't know, really. It was just one of them things, and I'm just gonna chalk that up to destiny, man. We all went to college for different reasons. Fish Gales played basketball. I got recruited to play football, but I ended up in the studio, recording with Nappy Roots. One of the guys went to do communication. It was crazy how we all just kind of linked up. But we had a producer off campus. He actually was an instructor by the name of General Lee, and we used to go over his crib and listen to beats separately. And he was actually the guy who kind of, like, we would come back the next day and hear like 2 or 3 different people on the song, and we'd be like, well, who's that? You feel me? And it was like, who's that? And so we ended up kind of recording music at the same spot. The producer put us on some of the same songs, and then when we heard them, it was just like, well, damn, I like to meet, bro. And then we all just kind of hooked up like that, for real. I mean, honestly, I came last as far as in the group, and so Skinny, his little brother went to my high school, so he already kind of knew about me, and he knew I was coming to Western. So by the time I got there, Nappy Roots was pretty much a crew, and you know what I'm saying, and we was just the rappers in it, you know what I'm saying. So it goes deep, man. I can't wait to put out the origin story or the documentary sometime.
And also, as well, in the year 1998, Nappy Roots actually released the debut independent album, Country Fried Cess. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this iconic record, because if I'm not mistaken, that record right there also actually led you guys to your deal with Atlantic Records.
Yeah. So, yeah, Country Fried Cess was our first project, and we pretty much put this out in the streets, man. We had an idea to go off campus, and you know how, like, people go home, during the summers, and then they'll come back to Western. They'll come back to college, and you know, and in the wintertime they'll go home for a little while and chill with their friends and family, and they go back to school. So we noticed that. So what we try to do is actually put a project out pretty much around springtime, at the end of, you know, close to summertime, when school's about to let out, and then people would go take our music home with them, play it for their friends, and you know what I'm saying, it was kind of like our way of building some grassroots, you know, promotion, and kind of, you know, taking advantage of the campus too, and the students who come to campus from all over the United States. But yeah, so our first record came out in 1998, Country Fried Sass, and it's a funny story, man. Mike Karen, he was the A&R at that point over at Atlantic, and he called. We had the phone number on the back of the CD. You know, those were CDs back in the days that we was pushing. You know what I'm saying? So had the phone number on the back. Mike Karen calls us up at our record store, because we owned a record store too. You know, back in Bowling Green, we was the first black-owned music store down there. And the guy who answered the phone, he hung up because he thought somebody was just playing a joke on him. You know what I'm saying? So we you know, that's how we kind of used to do, pulling pranks on each other back in college, and so somebody just calls up and be like, "Hey, this is Mike Karen from Atlantic Records. We want to sign you guys to a record deal." We're like, "Man, fuck out of here," you know. And who is this, you know? And but anyway, he called back. And he was serious. He was like, "Listen, let me take you guys out. Y'all meet me in Nashville." And, you know, so we went down to Nashville, met him. Yeah, you know, he said, "Order what you want." So I just scrolled down to the most expensive thing. You know, so I'm trying to figure out if he's the real deal, you know. About the little, you know, prime rib, ribeye, whatever the hell it was, you know what I'm saying? And the rest is history, man. I mean, he was legit. We ended up signing to Atlantic, and in 1998. But it's a big gap because nobody heard of Nappy Roots until 2002. So we were signed actually that whole time, and pretty much like it was stagnant. We were still putting out projects, but nothing was really moving. So it was kind of a difficult period between 98 and 02. You know, being signed. Everybody knows that. I mean, it was in the school paper and everything. So, you know, they see in 2 and 3 and 4 years go past and no action. It's you know, it's tough. You get to see who your real haters are at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because they will tell you in your face, "Yeah, I thought y'all was signed, man. What happened to y'all?" Yeah, y'all still out already, blah, blah, blah. So we heard it all before we even came out, you know. But it was just adding fuel to the fire, you know what I'm saying? And so 2002 is when we hit y'all with Watermelon Chicken and Grits, and we took off from there.
And I got to say as well, those haters that said all that, man, I bet you they shut up real quick whenever they saw you on every nick and cranny of the TV and the radio nationwide, man. I bet you that right there made them sit down on their ass real quick and be like, "Oh shit."
Hey man, you know, I don't know. I was on the road, so I couldn't see. We wasn't even in town no more. You know what I'm saying? But actually, I hope it made them fans. You know what I'm saying? I hope it made them be like, "Well, you know, I told them back then in the day, blah blah blah," and that probably pushed them to do what they do. So whatever they think, I don't care for real. You know, it didn't sway me one way or the other. We knew what we was gonna be. We knew what we was gonna do. So, you know, if you didn't like it then, you know, hopefully you like it now. Your kids like it now. Everybody around you likes it, and you just can't get away from it. So you end up, you know, if you can't beat them, join them type attitude. So that's how I hope my haters feel out there.
And also as well, while we're actually still on the topic of 2002, when you actually briefly just mentioned the album Watermelon Chicken and Grits, that was actually the album that led you guys to actually becoming the best-selling hip-hop group of the year 2002. I was actually wondering if you could actually shed some light on that iconic album, and of course, how did it actually feel being the best-selling hip-hop group in 2002? Because you guys in 2002 were everywhere, like I mentioned a few moments ago.
And we went from like being in the country in Bowling Green, Kentucky, to like everywhere in the world. You know what I'm saying? It started off like a 40-city tour, and we didn't come back home pretty much until the end of the year. And then like we still do 100-something shows a year anyway. You know what I mean? Since then, so But yeah, that time was priceless, man. I mean, I can't even. I mean, going back to that and going to all the award shows, and it's all the celebrities coming up to me like, "Hey, man, I bang y'all album. I got your album in my Jeep." I remember a story Justin Timberlake pulled up on us, and he was just like, "Hey, man," he was like, "Man, I mess with y'all, man." And then we was like, "Really?" You know what I'm saying? We was like, "Okay, come on, that's what's up. All right, that's cool." He was like, "Nah, seriously, I got y'all in my Jeep right now." Basically he pulled up to the award show, banging Nappy Roots, man. So that was a cool little feeling, and I mean, when you're on top, it's hard to see because you steadily working. So it's just more or less like for your friends, your fans, your loved ones. And they calling you every day. "Hey, I saw you on this, or I heard you on that." Those are the stories that I love to hear. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, it was a hell of a time, man. I mean, Watermelon Chicken and Grits is what put us over the top, and that was our first debut album, and it went platinum. It went gold in 6 weeks, and it went platinum shortly after that. And nobody expected that. The label didn't expect that. Nobody from our hometown expected that. And I mean, we thank the fans for listening and participating in that time period because, this was a time when Napster and streaming first came out. So, even though we went platinum, it was 10 million more albums that were illegally downloaded. You get what I'm saying? Back in those times. Now it's streaming. So, but we still did it. And man, what I'm saying? We up and down. Oh, no, hell no. We didn't up and done it. So we told y'all then what we was going to do. So, yeah, man, I loved it, man. It was amazing. And it still is.
And also as well, my favorite song off that record is actually Po Folks. That actually is what led you guys to actually receive a 2003 Grammy nomination for Best Rap Collaboration. I have to ask, can you tell us a bit more about that legendary song? And of course, what was it like actually working with Anthony Hamilton as well on that phenomenal joint?
Anthony is amazing, and from the first time we met him, which was at the video shoot, actually. But the first day we met Anthony, we were just country cousins since then. I mean, he's one of the most chill, coolest human beings, and he's so talented, man, but he's so humble. But yeah, man, working with Anthony is just like working with your older brother. He's just an amazing dude, man. I mean, I can't really put it into words, but I mean, I'm glad our paths crossed. The crazy thing is, we actually recorded and released that record on the album in like February when it first came out, and Anthony wasn't on it. And then we re-released the album with a few remixes, and then we did the Po Folks version with Anthony Hamilton, and then it took off from there. That was our second single, and we got nominated for a Grammy. So listen, man, when we were at the Grammy, I thought we was actually going to win it. And crazy part is we were in the same category as Nelly, and Kelly, and they had a song called Dilemma, right? And so it was a few other artists I can't even remember. But anyway, when they announced the winner is, and then they said, and they pronounced the N, and I'm thinking they about to say Nappy Roots, and the N was so long, my heart was about to jump out my chest. And they finally said Nelly and Kelly Dilemma. So that Nelly won that year, but the adrenaline was real, man. I mean, what I'm saying? I mean, if they caught me on camera, I probably was like, man, fuck, man. What I'm saying? But at the end of the day, those are some of the most talented individuals in the industry as well. And shout out to Nelly for opening the door for even, people looking into country hip hop and, the country grammar and a little flavor from the Midwest and the South as well. So, I mean, he's definitely a pioneer that we look up to as well. So, if I was going to lose to anybody, Nelly would be that guy, man. I tip my hat to that guy. But nah, man, Anthony, phenomenal. His career is taking off. He's out there. He's still touring. He's doing big things. He's actually coming to Kentucky, where I'm from, performing. So every time he's coming in the city, I go over there and I holler at him, and we may get on stage and do the song. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But that's our man, though.
And also as well, your guys' album after that, Wood and Leather, that actually dropped on August 26th of 2003, actually had 7 high-profile record producers actually on that record, from Kanye West to Little Jon to Needles. The list goes on. I have to ask, what was it like actually just working alongside a young Kanye West, and of course Little Jon as well?
Man, Kanye, I mean, he still is the most talented person as far as production wise, and writing music and rapping and all of that. Man, he's a phenomenal dude, a prodigy. So, but back then it was a hungry Kanye, and he was trying to still get his respect as a rapper, and he was in the box as just being a producer. So, he was giving you some of the dopest hip hop beats out at that moment. And we caught him. And I think I looked on the internet. The song was called "These Walls," and somebody said this was Kanye's best production ever. So if y'all want to go back and check that song out, it's called "These Walls." Nappy Roots, produced by Kanye West. Man, but yeah, I love the record. First time I heard it, I was just like, man, the pen just started flying, and I jumped in the booth, and I'm actually rapping first on that song. So. Yeah, but it was dope, man. Very, very dope. The whole project, like you said, we had Mike City. He produced a lot of Carl Thomas and some of the R&B legends of that era. Lil Jon, David Banner, he produced a couple records on that. Raphael Sadiq, how can I forget? And this album should have been everybody who slept on this album, man. Yeah, now's the time. It's 2022 coming up. It's going to be actually the 20-year anniversary of Watermelon Chicken and Grits. So, yeah, man, go on down the rabbit hole and catch up on some of your music, man, that you missed from Nappy. But, yeah, that's definitely an award-winning album, and I suggest everybody go back and check that out, Wood and Leather.
And I gotta say, my personal favorite song off that record is actually "What You Gonna Do," the anthem that was actually produced by Little Jon. And I have to ask, what was it like actually just being there and working alongside Little Jon? Because not only is he a phenomenal artist, but he's also an amazing producer as well.
People don't know this. Lil Jon is musical, man. Lil Jon can produce. I mean, he can play the piano, and I mean, this guy has beats. He pulled out a bunch of beats. And it was just really cool to see him on the keyboard and working the console and all of that stuff. I mean, he knows what he's doing in the studio. The man is a creator, so seeing that different side of him, it kind of messed me up. So I'm used to the crunk Lil Jon. I'm thinking he's gonna come in spilling gasoline on somewhere and jumping on top of it. But nah, this dude is like, he sits and he's a creator, man, and he's really he's a real talented dude. So yeah, it was dope, man, working with Lil Jon, man. He gave us a banger. He really did.
And I gotta say, I remember back in the day as well, actually getting my hands on a European version of that album, where there's actually a track 19, and I think it was something like "Behind the Scenes of Wood and Leather." Unfortunately, I have the American version now. I lost my European version years ago, but I do remember there was always a bonus track on that record.
Oh, man, that was so long ago, I have no idea. Do you know what the bonus track was? Did we have one? Do you know that?
It was, yeah. I think it was something like "Behind the Scenes." I remember it was almost like a behind the scenes of the record. You can kind of hear you guys like working in the background and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I've never heard that version. Yeah, that's cool.
And also as well, before we move off the topic of Nappy Roots, I also read as well that Governor Paul E. Patton actually sanctioned September 16th as Nappy Roots Day. I was wondering, how does it feel knowing you guys have a day dedicated to your legacy? And of course, is there any special events in Kentucky to celebrate Nappy Roots on that designated day?
Well, yeah, we usually do a free concert. We usually go to different middle schools and high schools, and we talk to the kids. We tell them about the importance of the education and following their dreams, and having a plan for the future. So, but yeah, man, I mean, September 16th is the Nappy Roots Day in the whole state of Kentucky. We got designated one of the highest honors that a civilian can get in Kentucky as a Kentucky colonel that same day, and actually it kicked off a scholarship program that the Kentucky Lottery funds, and full circle, basically 20 years later, or 15, 20 years later, they reached out to me, and now I'm the spokesperson for this new campaign where we giving away free scholarships, free tuition for students here in the state of Kentucky who want to go to trade school. And we got a bunch of different trade schools all around the state, from nursing to engineering, construction, manufacturing, business, IT, all of those trades. We giving scholarships away to young kids who want to go and get a trade and get some money, get out in 2 years, and go right into a field and start their life. So, I just think that, to me, that's a way of giving back and really trying to getting a kid out of that situation,
And also,
yeah, but it's crazy because the lady who I'm talking to now with this campaign was actually there at the high school that same day that the governor gave us the designation in 2004, man. So, I mean, what I'm saying? It's just crazy how the world works, man. And you run into people that you may have seen a long time ago, and, you treat them right, and you never know what happens in the future. You treat them wrong, you probably know that y'all will never cross paths in the future. So, watch how you treat people, basically, on your way up.
And I gotta say as well, man, you know what I mean? I gotta say first and foremost, I know I'm quite a few years late actually on this, but definitely congratulations on that monumental achievement, because at the end of the day, not everybody has their own designated days, designated to like, your guys' careers, man. I do know that people all over the world definitely, that are fans of you guys, that most definitely do celebrate that day, even if they're not in Kentucky.
Yeah, they do. We got fans all over the world, all over the United States of America that celebrate the day. They listen to Nappy Roots all day. Check out the whole catalog. I mean, the mixtapes, and just vibe out. Maybe grab some Kentucky bourbon or something like that. Maybe roll something up and just relax that day and listen to some good music. Clean the house. Just do something positive. You know what I'm saying? And love yourself that day. And just listen to the music that's going to keep you upbeat. That's what we want on September 16th.
And also as well, I actually read that you are currently partners with KCTCS in helping to bring Kentucky students scholarships. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this amazing organization, and of course, how can we as supporters become more involved and of course, potentially donate?
Well, pretty much this has been funded by the Kentucky Lottery. So just 2 weeks ago, we just donated $27 million to this scholarship program. And, we're going to give a lot of kids free education, free tuition. So as far as donating, I think we have that covered on this end. But there's a lot of other charities that Nappy Roots are involved with that we could use a lot of help with, too. So we can talk about that later. But as far as this goes, like I was saying earlier, KCTCS is the Kentucky Technical College System here in Kentucky, and they have a program called Work Ready KY, but it's strictly limited to Kentucky residents. So if anybody's from Kentucky that's listening to this interview that's got kids that are in high school, got their GED or their diploma, and they haven't gone to college yet and gotten a degree, this is the program for them. We're giving away scholarships. So, like I said, you can go out, get your scholarship, apply at workreadyky.com. You can see my story down there as well. I went back to school and got my degree after all of this time. I left Western. I couldn't go to go to college, go to school, and do my 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock classes, and I'm just getting from the studio in Nashville at 7 a.m. and doing this every day. I was just like, I told my mother, man, I said, I gotta pursue my music career. I mean, it's happening, and school is not going to feel that. So I'm going to just pause on the school. And my mother said, you know what, son, follow your dreams, but promise me that you go back to school. So that's what I did in 2018. I went back to school, ended up graduating with almost a 3.9 GPA, got top student. You know what I'm saying? I really went hard, and I'm doing all of this online while I'm on tour, doing Nappy Root shows. So it was cool, man, to be able to go back and be focused, and I got my bachelor's degree in organizational leadership, and that led to me putting my story out in different books and somebody reaching out, and we doing some book releases and meeting these other people who are involved with this program, and we ended up meeting the KCTCS people. And like I said, now we have this huge campaign in Kentucky for any Kentucky resident, man. So, and like I said, you could be older, like I was, go back to school, get your trade degree. As long as you don't have a college degree, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a 18, 19, 20-year-old adult, young adult. So, man, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's a way to get people out of their situation and start living the life they want to live. It's going to take you a couple years. It's cool because, 2020 showed us that you can pretty much waste a whole year of your life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who survived it. I'm not making light of the situation because it definitely, we lost a lot of people. But yeah, 2 years of just going hard, sitting down, focusing, and you can get a degree, and then you can get a job right out of college, right out of your trade school, because now you're an expert in this field. And people making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year starting out, because they're experts and they got a degree at these trade schools. So it's just a great way for us to focus on giving back to our communities and getting people out of the situation that's kind of keeping them down, and all of the stuff that's going on in America now. I know y'all been watching the news. I mean, a lot of things went down in my hometown in Louisville, Kentucky, to where it's like we can't change what happened, but you can change what happens next. And so this is a program that can help you change what's happening next in your life. WorkReadyKY.com. That's my spiel. That's what that's what they got. That's what they got me for. So yeah, it's all good, man. Check out their website, and if you know anybody in Kentucky who needs a scholarship, tell them holler at your boy. We got you.
And also as well, this year I actually read via IMDb that you were actually an actor in the movie Bait Pro, where you actually portrayed the role Sheriff Tom. I was wondering, what actually made you decide to venture into the into acting, and of course, what was it like just being on set of that movie?
It was very short film, small independent thing. Shout out to my man Brian Fox. But yeah, I've always loved acting. I did it in high school. I mean, even being a musician, being on stage, it's an element of acting to it. Just kind of the showmanship of it, But man, I want to do a lot more of it, man. I mean, I'm definitely interested in being an actor as well. So if anybody's listening to this, go to my page. I'm at Buffalo Stille on Instagram. Check out my reels. I try to do some funny reels and keep some straight face, and just doing my thing to try to impress these directors out there who ever need an actor like myself, man. That's it, man. I just want to get out there and show what I got, man.
And I have to ask, what is next for yourself? Be Still, man. Is there anything we missed during this interview? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still got you here live on the Canadian FM dial this evening.
Well, Nappy Roots, I have a couple of things. Nappy Roots, what's next for us is we have ventured into the craft beer industry. So we have a whole brewery in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. If anybody's coming into the United States anytime soon and visits Atlanta, man, come to our brewery, man. We're going to take care of you. Just tell them that you're you Canadian. You know, I don't know what type of beer y'all really like up there, but we're going to give you some good beer, some good Southern beer, man, craft beer that we've been making. And our brewery's called Atlantucky. And, man, I mean, it's 170 Northside Drive. It's right downtown by the stadium where the Falcons played in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So, yeah, come try us out. You know what I'm saying? Try the new beers. We definitely have been we didn't just jump into this. We've been drinking for quite some time. We've been doing some research, you know, ever since college on good beers, what's good and what's not. And going to all of these different breweries, you know what I mean, talking to the brewmasters and the people in the lab making the recipes and learning about, you know, the different mash tuns and bright tanks and, you know, all of these terms and all of this stuff, man. And, you know, we just decided, like, hey, man, why don't we just start our brewery? We know all of these brewers, and they ended up helping us get our brewery. So, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing. And we've got a couple good beers. We came out with watermelon chicken and grits. Actually, we did a collab with a beer company here in Kentucky called A Gift of Grain. And it was a watermelon beer with made, you know, with a corn base. It was beautiful, great, light, crispy, golden ale. We've got a beer called Kentucky Mud. I think it's a chocolate milk stout. We've got a beer called Nappy Goat, and that's like a strawberry milkshake. It's IPA. It's like so much stuff you could do in the beer industry, and we're just getting started. So, you know, we'll be on the lookout for Atlantucky Brewing Company, and that's us, man. Nappy Root.
And I have to ask, do you guys have like any plans to actually bring it internationally to Canada? Because I gotta say, hearing some of them flavors definitely made my Canadian ass a little bit thirsty.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. You know, so you may have to just. We'll speak. We're starting in Georgia. We're gonna move to Kentucky, and then, you know, we're gonna make our way around. Hopefully, we could do some partnerships with some people. Maybe just collab with a brewery up there and give them a cool recipe that we've already done or something like that. And maybe you could do it like that. So if y'all know somebody up in Canada who wants to collab with us, you know, link us up, man, for sure. We're definitely down for that. We want to give our beer to everybody we can, man, honestly. You know, but it's tough to ship it around the world, you know, like that when you first start now. So, you know, give us some time, and y'all get the taste for sure.
And also, be still. This is the time in the interview, quickly, right before I wrap things up, that I give a chance for the individual that does slide through the radio station airwaves, just like a chance to give like shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, but most of all, your social media handles. And I know a few moments ago you did drop your Instagram handle, but if you can, for the listeners that don't already have you on social media, they can pull out their phones and actually shoot you a follow on all your social media platforms.
Yeah, man. Well, shout out to all but the Nappy Roots fans for sure. First and foremost, shout out to everybody who's listening to this interview. I know my man Ty Bully. He hit me up. Shout out to him and his clothing line, Nappy Dad Clothing. You can check him out, nappydad.com. Go to nappyroots.com. Check us out. All the merch, all the stuff that we've released, all the tour dates that's upcoming. And then if you want to follow us at Nappy Roots. Follow me at Buffalo Stille, BuffaloStille, Buffalo Stille, or on Twitter at KY Buffalo. I love y'all, man. Thank you for this time. Thank you for this interview. We got some big things coming up. We got a nonprofit that's helping to train young amateur artists and producers into being professionals. We're giving the game out, so be on the lookout for that, kimid.com. KIMID, kimid.org. And, man, we're going to keep it moving, man. Nappy Roots is looking towards the future. We got some big things in the works. But, yeah, man, I mean, as an independent artist, it's cool because we can move without anybody giving us instructions. We make decisions ourselves, and we have a solid team around us that makes it happen with us. So, yeah, shout out to everybody who's behind the scenes with Nappy Roots, man. Y'all know who y'all are. We appreciate y'all so much. And, but yeah, man, Thank you guys for listening, man. I'll be still. I'm out, man. Love y'all. Peace. Keep it nappy.
Most definitely, man. Have yourself a wonderful night. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. Take care, man. I'll holler at you, man.